Alright, dear Eisendrache, let's see what you got for me. Dear Eisendrache has been on my radar for a long while and not for a good reason. The amount of times I played on this map to try to understand the appeal of this map is astounding, and I simply just can't seem to connect the dots on how enjoyable this map can be. Although I believe this map is really good, it's a map I don't see myself enjoying a lot either by myself or with other people. And this might be the most controversial review I'm going to make today, but I'll try my best to explain why I believe that Dear Eisendrache is overrated and you can't see it.
Hey, there's an ice cream truck outside. You should hurry before it leaves.
Ice cream?
Anyways, while he's off getting abducted by the ice cream truck, let's get into the new things that were added onto the map before I can get to the opinions. First, we got a new drop for the tram. When a fuse is put onto the tram, it can give you a random drop. These fuses can be found on zombies when killed or when you first spawn into the map. Then we got a somewhat new boss zombie, the Panzer. This Panzer is different though. Instead of it shooting a claw to hook you in, it shoots these blue electric bombs at you. Getting hit by it can slow you down a bit and can cause some damage to you while making the zombies electrified. Shooting these zombies will then blow up when you kill them, so be very careful. Other than that, these Panzers are pretty much the same boss zombies you've seen on Origins. Next up, we got a new specialist weapon called the Ragnarok DG4. After finding all the parts while obtaining them, you can use these Ragnaroks to do many things besides just killing zombies. But since we're not getting too much into the Easter egg, I can list a few things it can do. It has two ways of killing zombies. You can slam them or place them onto the floor. Slamming the Ragnaroks will instantly kill any zombies in your path or in any round, which is extremely useful to get out of a pinch. Placing them is different. When you put them on the floor, lightning will appear out of it and start grabbing zombies and the Panzer off the ground. Although this kills the zombies, this will only stun the Panzer for a few seconds until the Ragnarok runs out of charge that you can see on the bottom right of your screen. The Ragnarok can be picked up after you see the lightning disappear. Second to last, we got the first ever Treyarch based boss fight. This bad boy is a keeper you must defeat after doing the Easter egg steps. Beating the boss at first is hard, but after you get certain gobblegums or just get into the groove on how it works, you'll be able to beat it pretty easily. But in order to defeat it, you'll need new wonder weapons, and there's 4 of each. The Storm Bow, Wolf Bow, Void Bow, and Fire Bow. To get the bows, you'll first need to feed 3 dragons that are around the map. Doing so will give you a non-upgraded bow called the Wraths of the Ancients. This is when you can start on any bow upgrade that piques your interest. The Storm Bow allows you to release a lightning tornado when fully charged. The Wolf Bow releases a spread of wolves and a weaker thunder gun-like spread. The Fire Bow traps zombies and pandas in a tiny volcano that burns them over time. And the Void Bow opens a portal that summons little flying heads that eats the zombies till they die, which also distracts them. Getting them has a bit of a difficulty based on which bow you want to get, but you'll get 75 arrows to compensate, and you get a free max ammo when you do the final step of your upgrade. And that's all the important stuff that was added into the Eisendrache. Let's talk about the map while Azzy is gone.
Joke's on you. I'm back and I got what I wanted.
Well, it's too late. I already listed new stuff on the map. This is my video now.
This is my channel. Don't you have a video to make on your channel?
Listen, it's coming soon, and I really like this map. Can I at least talk about what makes the Eisendrache good?
If that's the case, then I'm gonna have to talk about the flaws and what makes the map not as good as people in the zombie community are willing to believe. Is that a deal?
Yeah, I can deal with that. Oh, wow. Was there actually ice cream?
What ice cream?
On your shirt? The bows on the Eisendrache are very unique in my opinion, as it fits the map perfectly, as 3/4 of the bows are fun to make. The Wolf Bow is the easiest bow to make, so it's a great way to start off on making a wonder weapon.
When you say 3/4 of the bows, I'm guessing you mean the fire bow, am I right?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't be asked to make that freaking firebow ever. Sorry, it's like every time I think about the firebow, it just gets angry. I just want to squeeze. I just want to squeeze and squeeze the life out of that bow. Respectfully.
I should add that in.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't be asked to make that freaking firebow ever again, as it's a bow that is not as fun to use or to make compared to the wolf bow or even the lightning bow.
The firebow especially lacks manpower, and to even achieve higher rounds. It's crazy to me that a bow like this can crash your game because of its visuals, when the fire staff in Origins did the same thing. It's honestly hilarious that both of these wonder weapons are the same elements that can crash your game. But the thing is, although I somewhat agree with you that making the bows and using them can be fun, there's always something about the bows that always stuck out to me as overall being weaker compared to how they were before.
Like what?
For one, the lightning bow nerf. It used to be an extremely powerful weapon until they nerfed the damage on it. The wolf bow is just a weaker thunder gun, and for the most part, it will start to stun the zombies by placing them on their asses. And although I do like the stunning mechanic, something I talk about on Origins, all the bows have the same amount of ammo, which is 75. And charging up the bows, it'll use up 2 arrows instead of 1. This isn't a massive problem, especially with gobble gums being a thing. But to me, it makes me feel as if these bows aren't as strong as the staffs. For the void bow, I do believe it's the best bow from what I've heard, and I can see why. It releases multiple heads, and it acts as some form of monkey bomb when used, and that's great. While the firebow is a huge waste of time, and is obviously the worst bow, which I think is a huge step down from what we got from the fire staff, as it was pretty strong. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe the staffs are stronger than the bows. Hell, the void bow rivals the ice staff in comparison, but it feels a lot more cooler, and it feels better to overall use the staffs compared to the bows.
Although I do agree to some extent on that, there are some things about the bow that are great and what makes it better than the staffs. For one, going around the map to finish these bows are great. You can really explore what the map has to offer in terms of challenge and beauty. And I feel like the bows are more rewarding because the bow challenges makes you do things like shooting these pillars to hit the flag for the wolf head, to even hitting an air shot to shoot a flaming circle. All of these feels rewarding to do, and compared to what we got from Origins, it isn't as fun due to certain things like having to run into the mud to shoot some gravestones for an ice staff, to doing a piano step for the lightning staff. These bows especially can tell an amazing side story like the Wolf King, or something as mysterious as a demon urn that you have to feed souls to and spell out its name. Plus, even when the lightning bow got nerfed, it still isn't the weakest or even bad to use. It's still powerful. You can still stun the Panzer and get a free kill on it, just like how it was before. The fire bow, we can all agree, is pretty crap. But the wolf bow is still not a bad choice to go with. Even if it's a bow for new players to start with, it still hits hard. The Panzer still has trouble from any bows in general. And if the lightning bow didn't exist, the void bow would be the weapon I choose because it's an amazing weapon with a cool visual effect that we haven't seen before. It's a weapon that rips a portal into another world, and you can start seeing these keeper heads rip these zombies apart, and it feels and looks amazing.
I guess we have our differences in what we think about the wonder weapons. So then, what do you think about the Ragnarok? Personally, I believe these are really powerful, and it makes you feel like a badass when used. They aren't hard to get, and it's way better than that Annihilator I had to use.
I agree with you on that, 100%. They're especially very important for certain steps in the Easter egg, not just that. But like the lightning bow, it can kill zombies and stun the Panzer by bringing it into the air.
You don't like the Panzer, it seems, with the way you brought him up again anyways.
Personally, although they are still a menace and can end your game if you aren't careful, the ones from Origins are a bigger threat and are scarier because it can hook you. That's something I'll give to Origins as a map.
Yeah, that's something I have to say as well. The Panzer in the Eisendrache is a boss zombie that isn't as rewarding to kill compared to the Panzer in Origins. Not just from bows, mind you. You have the Tesla code to stun him, overpowered AATs and weapons, aka the KRM, and the Gobblegums can be used to decimate him. You can summon things like the Death Machine to take it down from his own Gobblegum or raindrops, or you can be passive against it by using Gobblegums like In Plain Sight or Idle Eyes. When you have someone like the Panzer from Origins, It is more difficult because if you didn't get the staff before round 8, you are going to waste a lot of ammo trying to kill one guy. They only replace his hook with an arm that can shoot these blue balls that stick to walls and can amp up the zombies. They can kill you for sure, but it doesn't measure up to the pure adrenaline you get having to zigzag to not get hooked. But when it comes to adrenaline, the boss fight we got is actually really good.
Oh goodness, the boss fight. I believe that this is the best boss fight we've gotten in Black Ops 3, and surprisingly enough, this was Treyarch's first ever boss fight. Getting to it is rewarding, and it feels great to fight it with everything you got. The thing is though, with how everything is thrown at you, it can get a bit annoying. You go from fighting against your own weapons that the corrupt Keeper decides to use against you, to then fight 2 to 3 Panzers, skeleton zombies, and even the Keeper itself. But it does make for a great challenge when you finally get to beat it.
Personally, I don't believe that it's annoying that the game throws everything at you, as these are certain elements of the game that you've already experienced in some way. Funnily enough though, the bows can feel a bit weaker in this fight, as something like the storm bow can't stun the Panzer this time. I do think that it's a great boss fight, and I think it holds up pretty well. What I will say about the map though is that it is a beautiful map to look around in. Being able to walk around a castle that actually does exist is pretty cool.
The map is stunning. I especially love how the snow highlights the atmosphere of the map as we're fighting zombies. The color scheme of the Eisendrache could even highlight how amazing the bows look. It's a treat to be able to walk around this map and admire what the Eisendrache has to offer in terms of beauty and gameplay, as I believe it mixes together well. From feeding the dragons to finding all the PAP machine parts, which by the way, I think is a great way to actually explore the map. The parts being spread around the map forces you to take in what this map holds, and being able to use it feels nice. Even as dark as the temple area is still a nice place to look at. Treyarch knew how to blend each part of the maps really well, even in places where you expect to lack any form of color or lack any gameplay elements that hurt you more than to help you. You can even get a BRM wall buy in the temple, just like how we got an LMG wall buy and Buried. The Wonderfist making its return is also a nice touch, as I think it fits the map really well. I don't think anyone can hate on something that is able to give you any perks on Black Ops 3 at a cheaper price. The song Dead Again is also pretty nice to listen to, and there isn't really anything bad to say about it, as it's a song that does make you feel alive when playing the Eisendrache.
You make some good points, but I have something to say about this map that can be a bit controversial. This map, as the title goes, is very overrated. Again, just because a map is overrated, it doesn't mean that the map is bad. It's just that this map was played so many times that I'm honestly sick of looking at it. The love this map got when it came out, compared to when Shadows of Evil released, it was unwarranted. I do think the map can be fun and whimsical, but the amount of gameplay you'd see about this map alone was insane, and the other maps ahead of it also didn't receive as much love as this map did until now. I think it's a crime that we got a map as beautiful as Shadows of Evil, and for it to get shafted was really stupid. A lot of YouTubers, hell even the GOAT T-Lexify, were only playing this map for so long until the next DLC came out, and it was overplayed to hell and back. There are certain things about this map I simply don't really like, because I believe there are maps that either did it better, or it doesn't hold up as they used to anymore. Some of the Easter egg steps on this map can be very annoying, from the Simon Says with the infinite dogs, to then the wisp that we have to shoot really pushed me away from doing the Easter egg until now. Being able to blow up the moon is a great callback to the map Moon, as we blow up the Earth. But after completing the Easter egg, it left me saying to myself, thank God I have to do this again. It's a map that got way too much attention, and I feel like some people only like the map because the bows exist. The Panzer here isn't that bad to deal with. All the steps to upgrade the bows aren't as hard anymore because the Gobblegums exist. Getting the Ragnaros doesn't feel as rewarding to get compared to the Apothicon sword, and the only highlight I can think about with the map in terms of gameplay is the boss fight. It brings a challenge that I haven't seen in a while, and when you beat it, you feel great. The cutscene with Dempsey is really good here, and I love what this map can do. But it isn't enough for me. This map tries to be Origins, but on a different scale, and I don't think it perfects it or does a lot of things differently. You have the Wonderfist, the Panzer, the 4 elemental wonder weapons. How the map almost looks the same in some aspects. This map, although great to play on at times, I don't think it deserves a lot of attention this map received. It's overrated with a capital O, and I don't see myself playing this map a lot in the future. Maybe to have fun with friends, but nothing else.
I personally think this map is great, and players like the casuals and competitive zombie community can have fun without having to do the Easter egg. I feel like the Eisendrache got the attention it got because it's that good of a map. I'm in the mindset that I don't think the storm bows should have gotten nerfed, and the bows overall are still really powerful. The map holds a special place in my heart because this map brought a lot of players to zombies from the new to the old. Whether you like the map or not, there's something we can all agree on, and that is that the Eisendrache has some fun gameplay elements and amazing lore that was cool to follow. But I think that this map got enough about our opinions. We should head on to the next topic of this video.
I agree. Let's get into the lightning rounds, where we tell you information about the maps that you love or hate. Let's get started.
When you spawn into the map and head to the left where the railings are, these hands belong to one of the characters in the crew. You can see the bandages that Takeo would have, and it can be lore implications of one of Takeo's death.
Leeward from Buried can be found in one of the paintings for the Wolf Bow upgrade step. In the Death of the Wolf King, you can see him on the floor upset about his passing.
There's a lot of side Easter eggs on this map, so let's get into a few of them. There's a way to get a plunger on this map, and it's not as simple as you may think. To get it, you need to blow up this wall where the fire arrow would be, and place your Ragnarok by it. If you pull the lever again on 935, the pyramid downstairs should have a blue electric ball floating above it. Jump into these blue symbols on the wall a couple times and you should eventually teleport into the past. Turn to your left to a table and the plunger should be there. When picked up, your knife is now the plunger. It isn't that strong, but when the Panzer is killed, you can one-shot zombies and Panzers for 1 minute.
There's a way to get a free random gobblegum on the Eisendrache, and it's pretty simple. All you need to do is find this plant on this cabinet near the teleporter and grab it. Go back in time when you do the whisk step and place it back where it was. After teleporting back, the plant should be grown now. You can then interact with it and get a free gobblegum.
The skeleton zombies that you fight in the boss fight can be summoned. You just need In Plain Sight and the regular bow or the Wrath of the Ancients. Pop the gum and go to these 3 locations and shoot at these floating skulls that are at the church, by Mule Kick, and next to the double tap. The next round, skeletons will now appear.
Last side Easter egg we'll talk about here is the Disco Church Easter egg. The globe that you can see next to the church dragon head can be interacted with. The 2 pieces that are circling the globe needs to be blown up next to each other by either a grenade, a bow, or anything that's explosive. After blowing them up right next to each other, the scenery will change.
When shot, the Wrath of the Ancient has the same sound as the fire staff when you shoot it.
And finally, to be able to see a developer at the start of the game is by doing these weird steps when you spawn in. Let all the zombies destroy the barricades at spawn. You have until round 2, as if it starts round 3. You can no longer do this. After all the zombies are in and all the barricades are destroyed, get as many points as possible. You then need to put 2 barriers in each window. After they all got 2 barriers, buy the RK5 and put 2 more barriers in each windows. Then get the Shiva, replacing your RK5 and put 1 more barriers in all the windows. After this step is done, quickly get the RK5 again and run to the door on the right of spawn and a heart circling a family should appear. It's of the developer Drew Marlowe and his wife with his child. I believe this has to be the most wholesome side Easter egg I ever seen.
And that is all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, as we had fun making this video for you.
Although we have opinions that conflict against what we think about the map, always remember to keep it civil amongst each other, as everyone has a map that we like or hate.
This is a map that I love a lot because of what it brought to me as a player, and I believe that our opinions are valid because we all got to experience it together in some form.
I want to thank May for being able to lend her voice as well, as I want to shout out for her channel again, as she's making a video that'll be coming soon. If you guys are a fan of Overwatch, you guys can head on over to her channel. She has a special video that she wanted me to help her out scripting, as it's completely different from any video she has done before. I'd greatly appreciate if you guys gave her some attention.
But that's all we have for today. Stay safe and stay hydrated. But seriously, what happened on that truck?